experts in meditation that I've met personally tell me that um, the best moment to meditate, it's early in the morning. It's 6:20 in the morning. I'm just feeding my cats. And what is meditation? Well, as far as I understand, from the two principal sources or teachers of meditation that I've had in my life, which is my mother and my father, and their teachers, meditation is observing your thoughts. In the Zen tradition, meditation is sitting quietly in front of a wall and letting the stream of thoughts that always runs through your mind run, but observing this stream of thoughts as it runs. In the Vaishnava uh, theory of meditation, what you have to do is you need to stop the stream of thoughts by doing a mantra, repetitive thought, repetitive thought and words that you repeat over and over. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So it's two different forms of meditation that I've learned, one from my father, one from my mother. My father actually also did the wazifa. Ilaha illallah, ilaha illallah, ilaha illallah, which is a mantra. Um, but the premise is similar. It's you have to allow your mind to become empty, be it through a mantra or through observing your thoughts without attaching meaning to them. And in all the lineages of meditation that I've been exposed to, they all agree that early morning is the best time to meditate. It's when your mind is most open to learning new things. So I'm coming up with my own meditation right now, which is the YouTube blogger meditation, which is simply observing my mind and letting my mouth speak whatever's in it. Uh, which is trippy because actually, when you're speaking, you're not observing your mind, you're just letting whatever is in it flow out like diarrhea. Um, but I must admit that I woke up preoccupied about money. So there's a double thing going on with me right now. On the one hand, I'm quite concerned about money because I have 30, sorry, 50 cats that I must provide for. Now, this preoccupation for these felines, it's a relatively thing, it's a relatively new thing. Uh, it, um, it has, it makes all my paranoid nerves go up in high alert because of a story I wrote in one of my books about a very poor man that controls the world with his very few coins, because every single penny that he spends is actually representative of uh, a gold coin for some cabal of bankers and very powerful people that use him as a kind of exchange tool. It's an interesting story. I recommend it. I forget the name of the book. It's one of my books. But in this story, this guy is laundering money for cartels and banks and all types of things by simply being himself and spending little amounts that represent big amounts to the cartels and the banks and the criminal organizations that work around him and with him as a tool of exchange, as a piece of exchange between them. So my paranoid, schizophrenic uh, tendencies make me believe at some point that these cats are actually a form of control, a way of controlling my behavior and my thing, which could be, could not be. Everything is possible. Everything is not possible. But certainly, having 50 cats is definitely my fault. I mean, I allowed them to come into my life, but is also curiously enough uh, something that I how would you get rid of 50 cats? How would you get them out of it when you love them? You don't know, you don't love them all the same. There's some that you love more than others, but you love them. You absolutely love them. You feel for each one of them as your child. So is it toxoplasmosis? I don't know. The cat lady syndrome they call it, right? But the point is, my thought process, my meditation, my early morning meditation went strictly to how the fuck am I gonna feed these cats? Which is very intrusive, isn't it? Very intrusive. Because the other side of me, the side that recognizes all reality is just an illusion, let's call it the DMT traveler, the DMT traveling guide side of me, or the DMT travel agent guide side of me. There you go. I'm a DMT travel agent. That's my job. That's my job description. My spiritual job description, DMT travel agent. My DMT travel agent side of me that recognizes reality as a huge illusion and us trapped in bodily prisons of consciousness that is basically endless and infinite. Uh, Also understands that being attached to 50 cats and having to feed them derails me from the purpose of my deeper meditation, which is waking up from the illusion of being trapped by matter or whatever it is that I have to wake up from, um, getting over the I mean, the Gnostics call it the trap of the archons. The archons are these beings that control reality, so that you don't really think about the fact that you're a divine being encased in flesh to be trapped into a cycle of reincarnation, which is trippy as hell, but makes sense. There is a moment in the spiritual journey, in the DMT journey, when you actually let go of all the bodily attachments at a very powerful and deep level. You let go. You just detach from the fact that you have a body. And in that moment, you are free, but you're not you anymore. It's because so much of what we are, we identify with our bodies. So much of what we have to do is associated to our bodies. And this is even more clearly seen when you have 50 cats. If you have 50 cats, these cats definitely attach themselves to your body by purring and by making little catty noises and communicating. And it's curious because in one of my uh, past journeys, psychedelic journeys, I think it was on peyote or yeah, I think it was on peyote, mushrooms maybe. I asked to the Sophia energy, the Logos energy, the grandmother ayahuasca energy. I asked, what about the other? Who are the others? And here I am with 50 others, man. They are definitely aliens. I mean, they're furry little aliens that are not like me at all, but they're very much like me in many, many ways. Or I'm more like them actually. They're like me. And my love for them is unequivocal. It's definitely real. I love my cats, but they are very different from me. And I've been studying cats. They can go back to feral exist with feral existence very quickly. You abandon a cat, it'll go back to feral. It's just what they do. They survive. Dogs don't really do that. Dogs are too loyal to become feral again. They remain kind of attached to their human. But cats, if they're abandoned, they go back to being cats. And of course, my objective is to avoid that suffering for them at the cost of my tranquility because I have to work to be able to feed them. So, yesterday, in conversation with Mauricio, I was thinking, well, I mean, I need to make 9,000 pesos monthly just to feed the cats. That's the amount of food that they consume. That's the that's the price tag for having the cats. 9,000 pesos. It's about 450 bucks a month. It's a lot of money for somebody that basically works works for $5 an hour as a teacher. It's a lot of money. So it's the sustainability of my situation here with all these cats is very iffy, and I need to rethink my wealth. But wealth is a tricky mistress. All of the horror, the absolute terror in Mexico is based on the unjust desire for great wealth. You look at Rancho Isaguirre, you look at the cartels, they are basing their brutality and their horror against other human beings on their need to produce enough wealth to protect themselves from those who would get them for whatever they have, which is bizarre. It's a very cruel and bizarre existence, which we are all plunged into, not because of our actions or our desires, but because of the desires and actions of people that are a little bit out of control in their pursuit of wealth. Uh, Definitely a sickness of the soul. I mean, thinking in terms of those that cause suffering to others just to be able to have comfort. Be able to travel to Europe or be able to have a lot of houses or be able to buy a big car or whatever. And they cause all this discomfort and horror to others. I mean, my mother was slain literally by Nigerian thieves that pretended to be a U.S. military uh, officer and made her fall in love with them in a catfish thing. And I think about those people. Why the fuck they do that type of shit? How can they justify those acts against other human beings? You know, what the fuck what's in your mind to be able to do that? Some very dark shit going on there. So, 50 cats. I gotta feed 50 cats, and it's got me worried because the resources for feeding 50 cats in Mexico are fleeting, and I need money to do it. I'm not good at making. I mean, in the 57 years of life, I've never made a lot of money. I've never focused on it. I mean, well, maybe when I was younger, I was very focused on making money, but I never did, and I realized it was kind of like the Money Club is a very tight knit group of people that follow some very strict rules to create that money, and I'm not interested in being part of that club because a bunch of thieves and liars and cheats and murderers. You know, not my club, not my. So I never really learned how to do that, nor would I had an interest, a real interest. But now I have 50 cats and I got to feed them, and I have to figure out. I don't want to have them go back to feral cats, being feral cats, because they're very civilized and they've learned how to, eat from a plate and sleep with humans and purr and be happy and, you know, be civilized somehow, not so savage. So that's my meditation. That's my. I wake up in the morning. This is what's in my mind. This is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, how am I going to feed my cats? Oh God! Of course, the cats. Let me show you what's going on here. Amlita is Ramina's daughter, and she is pregnant as fuck. She's one little pregnant baby. Uh, but not only she's pregnant, she's in a very bad mood because she doesn't really enjoy her new body or her new uh, bodily aches and pains. She's not very happy about being pregnant, I think. So she's in a bad mood, and she spends her time uh, fighting with the other cats, being mean to the other cats, actually. So, so that those cats over there on the roof were wanting to say, oh yeah, Denmark over there came and said, how you doing? And Amlita just, you know, slid, went after him and tried to bite his nose. And now Denmark is like, what's wrong with you, man? What's happening with you? Why are you being so mean? Look at that face. Why are you doing so mean to me? What did I do to you? Give me a break. I'm your Denmark is Amlita's younger brother. And he's just like Perro. He's just the type of cat, Perro. So, but Amlita is in the mood. She's having a mood. My other cats over here, that's Ocni, uh, Macro 2, and I believe that's Bolillo. They're still just chilling out. It's early in the morning. Sun's just coming out. And my cats are just chilling out. And I'm meditating on how I'm going to feed these creatures because they need to be fed. If you decide to take care of creatures and be a friend to creatures, you have to do the job. You have to feed them. You have to give them what they need. And what these guys need is, whiskas and chicken. And I got to buy it for them. And there's a lot of cats that are hungry and they eat a lot. About a kilo of whiskas a day, roughly. A little more, maybe. A little more. See you guys. Bye.